Today we're going to talk about the Subaru WRX Impreza TR, and like the title says, it's all about the boost.
Get ready! Extreme automotive addiction! Yeah!
So many of you might be saying, okay Mike, what happened to you? Because if you follow the channel and you know me, you know that primarily I have American cars. I don't venture out that often. I mean, I've had a few. I did have the Acura and I did have the Jaguar, so I've had a couple, but for the most part, 90%, probably more than 90% of what I have is American made. And here it is, I have bought two, count them two, JDM cars within a couple of weeks of one another. So what's going on? I mean, are we turning JDM in the shop here? The answer is no, we're not. With the 370, if you watch that video, you'll know the reason why I bought that car. And I am going to talk more about the car at the end of this video. So if you're interested in that one, definitely stay tuned for that. But this one, you know, I really don't know exactly why I bought it. I don't have a real good explanation for the reason I bought it, to be honest with you. The only logical one that I can come up with is, well, I was kind of wanting a GTR, all-wheel drive. These are all-wheel drive, so that kind of made the connection there. Also, this car happened to be 6 minutes away from my house, just actually 6 minutes away from my house. So it was very close by. And you guys know me, I love it when the vehicles are close by and it makes it so much easier. So yeah, what's the plans with this car and what are the specifics on it? Well, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start out by going under the hood of this thing. It's a 4-cylinder. That's about all I know. I don't even know how many liters this thing is. I don't really know a lot about it. I didn't do a lot of research. As a matter of fact, I had to text the prior owner just to ask him exactly what upgrades have been done to this car. And let me just tell you this. It has a VF39 turbo. Yes, I'm reading this text. It has a TGV delete. Tomy equal length headers, Tomy up pipe and down pipe, Canon air filter straight pipe, and a bigger intercooler that he forgot the name of. So apparently he had this car for about 6 years, and he bought it with around 70-something thousand miles on it, and he drove it, used it as his daily and drove it. And he rebuilt the motor once and put it up to about 20 pounds of boost, and I guess he ended up breaking something. So he rebuilt the motor fairly recently. I think this thing has less than 10,000 miles on it since he rebuilt the motor, and he dropped the boost back down. Right now it makes about 18 pounds of boost. Now he told me before, when it was set at 20 pounds of boost, it was making about 320 horsepower at the wheel and about 360 pound-feet of torque. So now I'm just guessing, it hasn't been on a dyno. I'm going to say probably just a little south of 300 horsepower and probably around maybe 330, 340 pound-feet of torque. But I will say, when it makes boost, you definitely know it. You're very much aware of that fact. So if you're laughing at me right about now, I don't blame you one bit. I really didn't do a lot of research on these cars. I can remember when I was working, a buddy of mine that I work with, he had one of these. I never saw it, but he talked about it. And at the time, I think I had just my base C6 Corvette, and I mentioned something about it, and he was telling me about his WRX, and he was saying it was very modified, it was very fast, and he told me, he goes, hey, my WRX would just smoke your Corvette. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive, you know, because I figured the Corvette was pretty fast at the time, and I still think that they're fairly fast. So, and I have to say, when I went for the test ride in this car, the prior owner, he did a couple of pulls for me, and it impressed me. It set me back in the seat very nicely. As a matter of fact, this thing will spin all 4 tires in first gear pretty easily. It definitely goes. And besides, look at this huge wing. I mean, if you don't have a lunch counter to eat on, you've always got this wing. So let me take you guys for a little walk around the car. I love the color. I really, really like this color a lot, but the paint does need a little bit of work. You guys can kind of see on the hood right there in front of the scoop, there's definitely some oxidation and the clear has gone through. Hood is a little bit rougher. And if we come back around to here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the car has been keyed at one point in time all the way down this side. There's a small dent there. And then we go up here, and you can see a lot of oxidation up there. So my plan is to have some paint work done to the car. I actually wanted to do this video before I got into everything, because when I got it, the prior owner told me I was going to need a new power steering pump. I was going to need some upgraded brakes because the rotors were kind of warped. And I wanted to do the video on this car and then start doing all the work and stuff like that, but just kind of ended up jumping in there. So I already had the power steering pump done. Actually ended up doing 2 new CV joints in front. The brakes have been done. It actually ended up with new tires, which I hadn't planned on doing, but one of the tires was kind of split, so I just decided to do that. And I still want to have the paint work done, which is supposed to go down for that next week. That's why I wanted to get this video on right now, and then I can show you kind of the before and after. And as always, I will have the windows tinted on this car, and I may upgrade the sound system just a little bit. It's got a nice head unit, and I think probably the stock speakers, but I think I'll add a subwoofer and maybe a little amp. I'm thinking, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking I will do that. The other thing that I'm really on the fence about is these wheels. Now, when I first saw this car with the white wheels, I didn't like it at all. It just did not do a thing for me. They've grown on me a little bit. I've tried to do a couple of trades and get some different wheels. It hasn't worked out so far. I'm still kind of looking around, but of course I did put new tires on it, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the white wheels? I'm thinking like some dark gray would look better, but I mean, the white's not killing me either. So give me your opinion, drop me a comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Now, one thing that I do know is that the TR stands for tuner ready. That's really all I know, just tuner ready. That's it. So interior wise, I mean, it's aged, of course. It's a 14-year-old vehicle. I guess it has some upgraded seats out of a newer WRX. I don't know the specifics. Slide in here real quick, and sorry, got the wheel kind of turned, canted, but and basic on the gauges. He's got aftermarket air fuel and boost gauge up there, aftermarket head unit for the sound system, very custom shift ball there. That's, I don't know, that's kind of cool. It's grown on me. So, but I mean, it's clean inside. It needs probably some detailing, but it's clean. Okay, key in hand. Let's fire this bad boy up. Let it warm up a minute. It's funny, now that I own this car, whenever I hear this exhaust note going by on the road or whatever, I just automatically say, oh, WRX. Now, before we set out, I'm not gonna pull the camera down and show you, but I'm gonna read them to you. There's 2 warning signs in here, and I really didn't pay that much attention until after I owned the car, and I'd actually been driving it a little bit, and I happened to pay attention. So this one over here says, warning, this Subaru is powered by a turbocharger and produces excessive boost. Failure to secure yourself may result in whiplash, clothes to fly off, drooling from the excitement of this turbocharged vehicle. So sit back, shut up, and hold on. There's another one down here, again, didn't read it till about another day later, and it says, warning, you're in a Subaru Impreza WRX. That means lightning fast launches, 4-wheel skids, incredible handling, and of course a huge smile as you leave everyone behind. Severe whiplash and blood clotting may result. I had to laugh. I thought it was kind of funny. I don't assume that's standard. I think that somebody put those there after the fact, but it's just me. So anyway, okay. Warmed up a little bit, emergency brake off. Now I know that these cars do come with an automatic transmission, but I would say definitely the way to have it is with the manual. I mean, I haven't ridden in an automatic. As a matter of fact, this is really the first one I'd ever ridden in, and I bought it. So, but I like shifting the gears. It shifts really, really easy, very gracefully. And I'm still breaking in the tires. I'm still breaking in the brakes. So bear with me. And I want to get a little temperature in it. Now it does have a check engine light that just came on right after we did all the work and stuff to it. And then the cruise light is flashing. I've looked that up, trying to figure it out right now and trying to figure out what's going on, what needs to be adjusted or changed or what have you, so that doesn't happen anymore, because it didn't have it when I first got the car. But nice driving car. I've already driven this. I took it to Merced, which is like a half an hour away, and then I went the other direction to Modesto, which is like probably 45 minutes to an hour from Merced. And it was really nice just driving down the freeway, cruising along. Everything seems to work on it, cruise control, air conditioning, power windows, so that's kind of nice. You guys know me, I like to have my cars in really good shape. That's why I want to get the paint work done. That's why I wanted to do all the mechanical stuff, and like this check engine light, it'll just annoy me. So I want to get that taken care of and cleared. But it is a, you know, I'm always going to say the same thing. It's a fun little car. I don't know how else really to say it. It's enjoyable. Shit. Okay, for some reason my windshield thing isn't wanting to stick onto the windshield over there. which is kind of a bummer. So try it over here. Hopefully it doesn't fall again. It goes. I mean, even in second gear, I could feel it struggling for traction. It definitely launches and goes very nicely. And it's very much like really any other boosted car I've had or have experienced. You really know when you come on boost. It's just like, okay, holdy hum and whatever, and then suddenly boost comes in and you're rocking. Slow down here. I think this guy wants to turn, and he's got a big truck and trailer, so we're gonna let him have all the space he needs. Take a little run down here. We've got some good temperature in it. Not bad. I mean, it's very, very impressive, especially in the lower couple of gears. You know, once you get up there, if you're cruising at freeway speeds and you step into it, it definitely pulls, but it's not as impressive as like off the first couple of gears. It's just, like I said, first and second, I can feel the tires struggling for traction, and that's pretty impressive. I mean, that's kind of cool. I like that. I dig that. Is it a forever car? No, it's definitely not a forever car. I'll get it right, I'll play with it for a little while, and then I'll end up selling it. And hopefully won't lose too much money. Didn't really expect to get into it quite as deep as I already have, and still some more work to go. So yeah, I'll probably end up losing a little bit on it, but you know, that's okay. Still have fun with it. I was gonna do a little pull right here, but there's a truck in front of me, and I'll putt it. I don't know if you guys can hear the turbo pulling in all that air. It's just, that's really cool. It's different. Like the Cyclone, you don't hear the turbo. And when I had the Turbo Regal, you heard the blow-off valve, but you really didn't hear the turbo sucking in that air. This thing, you can really hear the turbo sucking in the air. It's kind of cool. It's also interesting because you got that big, massive hood scoop right there in front of you. It's just, it makes me laugh. It really does. It's comical, but in a good way. I'm laughing with it, not at it, I promise. Not bad. It's fun. And I know, again, from the passenger seat, it is a completely different experience. Again, let Eddie drive this thing the other day. I went shotgun with him just for the experience because I'm finding that's really a good way for me to appreciate my cars. And I was sitting over in the passenger seat very impressed. Very, very impressed with the way this thing pulls. Fun little driver. I think this would actually be kind of fun even to daily drive, and I'm not really against it. I mean, it's a four-door. Don't really have a lot of room in the back seat when I'm carrying my son and for a car seat, but it's always an option. All right, so what do you guys think? Especially since I know a lot of my subscriber base likes more muscle car, you know, stuff like that's behind me back here. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this thing? Cool, not cool? I like it. Like I said, I'm gonna enjoy it for a little while. Big truck going by, so don't mind that. I'm gonna enjoy it for a little while, and then I'm gonna send it off to the next owner. You know, like I said, it's not a forever car, but it really is a lot of fun. When that boost comes on, and like I said, especially when you can feel all four wheels kind of struggling for traction, That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, and I think in anybody's book for that matter. The 370, I'll give you guys a quick update on this. If you didn't see the video I did on it last, I think it was like a couple videos back, I talked about being on the fence about doing some modifications to it. I have officially jumped off the fence. I went and put a deposit down to get some parts together, and we're going to start this build. I'm very, very curious to see how this car does. This car is going to stick around longer, at least I think it's going to stick around longer than the WRX will. I kind of want to hang on to this one, and I want to see what kind of power I can make out of the car. Been doing a lot of research and a lot of looking around, and I see guys making upwards of 550, 600 wheel horsepower still on the stock transmission, stock bottom end. I don't want to go that crazy. I don't want to take a chance on breaking stuff. I really like this car a lot, and I don't want to have to do a lot of modifications to it. But horsepower wise, I really think realistically, I'd like to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 450 to 500. And I don't know what it's base dynoing right now, but I'm assuming with the stillen, it's probably going to be around 350. That seems to be the general consensus, and everything that I've seen, that makes sense to me. So if I can get another 100, 150 wheel horsepower out of it and a decent amount of torque, this thing should be a terror, because right now this thing is very close to being the fastest vehicle that I own, and it should be amazing. So be looking forward to that. You're going to definitely see the progress, and hope I can get the base dyno and the mods, and I'm going to talk more about the shop that's doing it and work with them. They're very excited. I'm very excited. So that'll be cool. You guys, next time you see the WRX over there, it's going to have some paint work done to it, probably tinted windows, maybe some different rims. Again, I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think on that. I still have the Camaro to do, and I still have the Corvette to do. Corvette is coming along slowly but surely. The Camaro is fighting me every inch of the way. Definitely have made some progress with it, then had a couple of setbacks. Got to get back on the road where it's drivable, had some brake issues with it, so, and parts are back ordered right now with all this COVID stuff. So hopefully we get the parts here soon, get it back on the road, and can start doing some more testing and tuning. I can tell you what little we did get it running right. The thing pulls like crazy. It is just, it's a monster. And I can't wait to do the video on it and show you guys that car in depth, in detail, but it's just not worth doing right now because it's not running right, and it's not there yet. Getting there. So I'm gonna shut up. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. PO Box, Venmo, Instagram, everything like that's going to be in the description below. As always, God bless. Take care. Guys, have an absolutely amazing day.